Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
My nose itches.
Okay. Here, let me hit it. Let me punch it. Just kidding.
We're late I don't know. I don't think we're ever late anymore. So, but it's late in the day. So it's
yes,
Sunday.
Sunday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I got Brian coffee at noon.
Well, they messed it up. They didn't put any.
And then I
caffeine
gave you
in it.
mine.
I don't feel like I have any of this.
And then you were supposed to record half an hour after drinking your coffee. Any later, you will fall asleep.
Caffeine kind of puts me to sleep.
That's why I want you to record right away.
Well, it's because we went on a Friday to Disney, and then we went and saw baby Nora yesterday, and then I'm just not used to being home Sunday mornings, so I just didn't know what to do, so I just slept.
That's why you just record as soon as you wake up.
Yeah.
Next time I'm going to starve you and not let you eat until you record.
This is the tiger mom in her coming out. This is why she needs a kid.
This
Get it off of me.
is a Southeast Asian person in me, how do you think Vietnamese kids can make Nike shoes? They can't eat until they make a pair.
Yeah,
or 5.
They just do
100.
So we have a giveaway that's ongoing of the Minnie Mouse Floral Loungefly wallet. That ends on October 28th.
Yes.
And all you have to do is direct message us via Facebook, Instagram, or you can email us at info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. The answer to this question: how did you hear about us?
Yep.
How did you hear about Rope Dropping Knowledge? That's all you got to do.
All we need to know.
And you get an additional entry for every medium you use. So if you use Instagram, you get 1, Facebook 2, and the email would be 3. So you could technically have 3 entries into this contest. And you just have to be 18 years older, live in the United States, and the winner will be drawn at random on October 29th.
This might be the last episode you listen to right before the drawing.
Probably.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because we're already heading into
So
it.
it's only 213 and 214.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All righty. But it's a nice wallet. Oh, yeah, and that's not all, because there's a Minnie Mouse keychain from Kate Spade that we're giving away with it. So you're actually getting 2 items of value. Very nice, brand new items. And, yeah, good luck. All right. What else is going on?
Well, last week the Disneyland Resort called me.
Ooh.
And I thought it was a fake caller. It did say it was from Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, hello, Miss. They wanted to speak to Miss Tracey, please. And I was like, this is me. And they said they're from the Disneyland Resort. And they said that, because we are staying on property at the Paradise Pier on November 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for our anniversary, so we're staying on Paradise Pier. So they said, thanks for booking your vacation with us on November 5th. And they asked if we would like to, they called it upgrade to the Disneyland Hotel at no charge. And I was like, oh, hold on, let me ask my husband. So I went out there and I asked you. And then I said, wait, the hotel, not the villa, right? Not the new tower. They're like, oh, yes, the hotel. And I was like,
and I know some people
no
are
thanks.
like, wait a minute, that sounds great.
Because it is more.
Yeah, it's more
It's
money.
like $200 more than Paradise Pier.
It's a favorable trap.
Yeah.
Because
it's a favorable trap.
It's farther from the parks. There's no private entrance.
There's no direct entrance to the park. You just have to, the
And
monorail's down.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. You have to walk all the way through downtown Disney to get to the gate.
Basically, you're in a walking race with the trams. Because the trams are going the same direction you are. They're going to get there first.
It's shorter than the tram route, but still.
But it's on the tram route.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It's on the last leg of the tram route.
Yeah.
This is downtown Disney. So you're walking all the way through downtown Disney to get to either gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not saying that's bad, and if you have
It's
like
still cool if you
Trader
wanna-
Sam's reservations, maybe
Yeah.
that's cool or whatever. But Paradise Pier, as far as convenience, is the superior hotel. Because
I mean, of course, the Grand is superior, but
no,
but
I'm
when
saying
you're-
superior to Disneyland Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Because Disneyland Hotel is way bigger.
Right.
It's a way bigger hotel, and they're putting in new bars and stuff, so that might be cool.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Paradise Pier, it only takes about 5 minutes to walk to the Disneyland Hotel. It's not like
Mhm.
Florida, where
Oh, yeah,
all the
yeah, yeah.
hotels are like, Grand Canyon lengths apart,
Yeah.
We have to charge your Tesla to get from one hotel to the
Yeah.
other,
And then sometimes if one of the hotel's pools are down, the golf cart will take you to
yeah,
the
you can even get a ride.
yeah.
And there's back gates that work with any hotel key.
Yeah.
And
That's how we
so
got
when we went
to
to
Trader
Trader Sam's,
Sam's.
we just
Mhm.
used our Paradise Pier key. So there's really, and I'm not trying to put down Disneyland Hotel because we have stayed there a couple times, but it's from a convenience standpoint of park going,
Mm-hmm.
it's just not as it's not as convenient.
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to make fun of them like, oh, it was bad. It's like, no, it's
If the
Disneyland Hotel's
monorail
pretty
was
cool.
open, maybe because it's like you just hop on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you'll send.
And by the way, I hope people keep thinking Paradise Pier is the inferior hotel because it's a little cheaper.
Yeah, well, I don't know how it is when it becomes Pixar Place
I know
Hotel.
they might. Well, I think it's going to be. And this is kind of what I was explaining to people at my work. It's kind of like there's going to be there's a lot of minimum wage increases in
Yeah,
California that
yeah.
are coming up for all kinds of industries,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like, well, so what if the lowest wage employee gets a pay raise? And I'm just like, well, there's a thing we call it HR compression, but you can just call it compression. Right? Or you can call it, operational compression, whatever, wage compression. If you raise the floor, you raise the entire group.
Yes,
You raise
yes.
everything.
Yeah.
So what happens is that, and I used to tell this story back when, and I'm always going off on these tangents, but back when I used to be in the public sector, and the majority of our employees were union. They used to think, oh, Brian's HR, you must hate the fact that we might strike for higher wages. I'm like, why would I hate that? I'm management.
Yeah.
If you get a higher wage, it's going to bump
You
me.
get a higher raise,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not like you're going to get paid more than me. so I was like, no, I'm all for you getting as much as you can get.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happens. And so when it becomes Pixar Hotel, the price will go up. Unfortunately, that's just going to bump the prices of the other two hotels.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it could still be the least expensive of the three,
Yeah.
but if they raise that by $200,
Oh, the
other
two
will be
also
raised by
raise.
200.
I see. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
That's how it works, folks. So, and like I said, it's the least expensive of the three, and you can walk across the street and you get your own entrance, your own security line, and it's not even a line. Usually you go through it. You're lucky. You will be lucky at any time of the day if there's one person in front of you
Yeah.
in security.
And it's probably because we go in the middle of the day, like later.
But we've
I've
done it all
seen
times
at
we've
rope
walked.
drop before.
We've walked
where-
back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's never that crowded.
Only
There's not
during
even
rope drop.
space for crowded. Like, the little wooden gate where you go in
Yeah.
to security? I've
Yeah.
never seen anybody outside of that.
Right.
So the most.
I've seen
maybe,
one video of someone when they did Magic Morning
Mhm.
because,
But we
that was
went,
just
we
the
went
one
through
time.
that gate during Oogie Boogie Bash.
nobody.
There was no one there.
That way it was still new.
It wasn't new. It was just,
No, that entrance was new
no.
last year.
It was still probably a year old. But it was kind of like, yeah, either people don't know about it or well, one thing, you need a key to get into it.
Yeah, need a key.
A hotel key. So
Yeah.
it's not like the grand entrance into California Adventure.
No, that one
where-
people knew about.
But you don't
because-
need a key. Anybody can go
Right.
through that.
Oh,
one.
that's true.
You'll be in downtown Disney and say, "Hey,
Oh,
let's just
yeah,
cut
through that
across,"
way,
and you can just
yeah.
go. So, yeah, I think it's the more exclusive one if you look at the amenities.
Yeah. And you don't deal with crowds like
Mm-mm.
the Grand and Disneyland Hotel because they're more popular, I guess.
They reprogrammed. The only thing I had a problem with was the programming of the elevators, and they seem to have fixed that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's getting a whole redesign, refresh. And now, the second thing, it was another elevator issue, was they didn't have an elevator for the parking structure. And they're adding that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's going to be the superior hotel, except even the Grand is kind of like, I mean, we were looking for that terrace when we stayed there the last time.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you get lost in that place, man.
Yeah, it's so
it's all
big.
these corridors and stuff.
Yeah. It had all these. It was more like they're trying to make it feel like you're in the wilderness, like all these cabins.
Yeah.
So that's why it's all spread out. It's not like tower-wise. Like with Disneyland Hotel, they named
it's
each
a beautiful
tower.
hotel. Yeah. I mean, and the design is awesome. But, I can appreciate it without staying there. So, but no, I am never going to take a deal. Now, if they offered the Grand over it, maybe, because it's so expensive.
For the Grand, there's no question. I wouldn't even come out and ask you. I'd just make the decision right then and there. But then I was like, Disneyland Hotel, you say? Hold on, let me ask my husband. And then I was like, wait, hotel, right? Not the new Villa Tower. He's like, yes, ma'am, just the hotel. I was like, okay, no.
And then you don't know when they're going to put you, Because maybe I would if they have, like a nice view or something. But
Like
maybe.
I should have premium view or deluxe
they're
view or
probably
regular
gonna
view.
just sideways you.
Yeah. Then you wonder, I start thinking like Johnny, you wonder what the catch is. Like, why are you calling me? Like
what do you need? Yeah.
Like, what room? Like, is there nobody staying at Disneyland Hotel now? Like, what? What's the? You're not calling me out of the kindness of your heart, and you want to give me some special upgrade. You're calling me because nobody's renting out those rooms. It's kind of like, oh, would you like this upgrade for free? Yeah, I was like,
no. You see, if you stay at the Disneyland Hotel, in order to get to the parks, you got to walk through downtown Disney. Now, how many things are you going to buy? How many things are you going to see? How many things your children are going to see on the way to the gates? That's what I'm asking. I'm just asking. I'm just asking questions.
So yeah, I didn't. I got like, what are you tricking me for? No, I'm not going to take it.
No, it's. I mean, and by the way, it's not a diss on that because I actually do like the Disneyland Hotel, but it's just farther and there's more stuff at Paradise Pier.
There's more theming if you had little kids, I think, at Disneyland Hotel, right?
Probably, yeah. It's bigger. It just has more everything.
And their pool, like Christina was saying, their pool was, especially now with their new upgraded stuff,
But at the Paradise Pier, man, they got Nemo. The whole Nemo thing, and it's pretty nice. And once they finish the whole bar section, I think that's going to be the spot.
Yeah,
I think that place is still going to sell out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's because they have less room, so I don't know if it's a fair comparison about which one sells out first. But I think people are going to be clamoring to go there more than the Disneyland Hotel. At least the people who stay on property a lot. And I don't think we're in that group. We don't stay a lot. We stay multiple times a year, but maybe once a quarter.
4 times a year.
four times a year. Yeah.
But I thought it was cool, interesting that they called me. That's why I was like, why are you calling me?
Because they're taking their time out of the day.
What's it to you?
That means they.
No, one other time they did call me. The first few time, or maybe last year. We also had a stay at the Paradise Pier, and they called me and asked. They said, "Oh, we see you're staying with us this Saturday," and I think it was in the middle of the week, like Wednesday or something. Yeah. And I think it's because I hadn't checked in yet, mobile, because it was my my first time in a while. And they were like, "Oh, I see you're staying with us. We'd just like to welcome you. And do you have any questions? Do you know about our mobile check-in?" I'm like, "Actually, I do. If I didn't want to check in because I wanted to use a different card, so that's why I didn't check in." She's like, "Oh no, if you check in mobily, you can put whatever card you want in there." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." So I think they had called me because I didn't mobile check in yet. Yeah, I think that's the reason why. And then then they didn't call me anymore after that until this time.
Well, we had to do the podcast today because you're having mouth stuff done tomorrow.
Yes, I'm having some oral surgery done. It's nothing that dramatic. It's one tooth getting taken out in the back.
Yeah.
and
So
getting an implant, but it's still
we still don't know how you're going to be affected by it. So
Yeah.
it's like we don't want to plan on having a podcast like, oh, we'll just push it off, and then you can't speak.
I'll be like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah."
Which isn't Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. But so yeah, we wanted to make sure we got one in because this could be our last of the month. So
Yeah.
but we did go to the parks this past Friday. And yeah, what did we do?
Well, it was a hot day.
Yeah, it was pretty
It
hot.
was high 90 or 89.
I think it hit 90 exactly.
High 90. You know, and we did Pirates first. We got
Mhm.
there pretty late, like noon.
Yeah, I don't know what we were doing here.
I don't know. We were just taking our time. It's like whatever. And then after Pirates, we ran into Haley, Moms with Magic Crowns.
Oh yeah.
I thought she recognized because we were just walking out of Pirates, and she's like, "Hey guys!" And I turned around and I was like, "Oh, it's Haley."
Which is funny because you're wearing a crown.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, did you recognize me because I was wearing your crown?" She's like, "Oh no, I actually recognize Brian."
How'd you recognize me over your own crown?
I know. But you look cute in your crown.
It's so funny.
But yeah, so she was taking a day off.
Yeah, she had her kids with her.
She had her 2 kids with her. Yeah.
2 kitties. Yeah.
So-
And yeah, it's always cool to see people you know.
Yeah.
And we didn't think about it till later, but we probably should have. I mean, I know that you guys are in. It's kind of a weird. You guys are in that in between. Like you buy a lot of stuff from her. She's a friend. She's part of podcast Mike's My
Mhm.
Magic. And so I think that's how we look at her
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't
We
give her a
look at
wallet.
her as a colleague and not a
Yeah.
listener or like a fan or whatever. I don't know.
We didn't give her the giveaway wallet
Yeah.
because we didn't even think about that till hours later.
Yeah. We're
And I was like, oh, maybe we should have given that to her. I don't know, but
But she wasn't like, "Oh, do I get the wallet?" You know, because that's why
Yeah.
we didn't think about it.
I know. But it
But-
was one of those things where now we have this Halloween wallet and we're not going back until like a week after Halloween.
Yeah.
So
So do we put it away?
yeah, you guys
And
let us
then-
know. Should we still keep? Because typically what we do is we just keep the same giveaway until someone claims it. But this is, I mean, it's not Halloween
is
specific.
seasonal.
It's kind of seasonal. It's Halloween. It's a
It's
glow.
a-
It
it's
glows
a
in the
mini
dark. It's still
ghost.
cool.
Yeah.
It's a Loungefly wallet.
Yeah.
Minnie Mouse wallet. So I think we could still, get away with it. But it's like, should we give it to a super fan? Because we are going to be doing some super fan giveaways. Or should we just keep it going?
Save it.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And-
Let us know. Message us Instagram or Facebook. We'll take your opinions into account. Because we do have actually another giveaway, but I'm not going to tell people what it is because that could influence them. So. All right. So what else did we do at the park?
So we went on Winnie the Pooh, and we cooled off at Pooh's Corner because we were thinking, where's a shady spot that we can cool off because the next lightning lane's not till 2:00.
Yeah, when you get there late, on the weekends, even though it was a Friday, it's people still working. The lightning lanes are all like 3, 4
Yeah,
know.
and I think it's because if it's the last 2 weeks before Halloween, people want to get
before they're
there
blocked.
to see the Halloween decorations before.
Well, it's a lot of time people like us who are going to be blocked,
Yeah,
and so they're going to be blocked most of the holiday season.
yeah,
Because I got to take another Friday off.
yeah. Well,
And the more-
and yeah, like they want to see all the Halloween stuff too before it goes away in 2 weeks. So
yeah, that's true as well. So
the pumpkin and everything.
and then they got some cool stuff. We took pictures of Headless
Yeah.
Horseman.
Yeah, Headless Horseman. So yeah, so we cooled off.
That
at
place
Pooh's
was
Corner.
cool.
Yeah,
It felt like to me. I know maybe I was exaggerating when I said it felt like it was 60. It felt like it was 70.
yeah.
It was really
there
chill.
was a breeze right there.
Right, and it's in
So-
between Old Splash Mountain
Yeah,
and Pooh.
Yeah.
And so it's like this little canyon,
yeah,
and you just sit there, and it's just like you're chilling. You're not sweating. You're not, even though it was like almost 90 at that point.
yeah.
So
And I was wearing my Dr. Facilier crown and T-shirt.
Mhm.
So
yeah, we took I took a video of you,
mhm.
and you already posted that one.
yes, as a story, I might
Oh.
do one
Oh,
as
that was
like a
a-
post, so it
yeah.
disappeared. So.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because we did it right
Um,
in DCA.
Yeah, we did in DCA, but you took some pictures of me in New Orleans Square because that's kind of appropriate. We went to Tiana's store.
Yeah, this is kind of an influencer day. I don't know why, but it was.
Yeah, I was like, let's make this a content creating day
I know.
because like all the lightning lanes are like later on, so
Which is
just
funny because
chill.
we typically do not take that many pictures, or we don't care.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was. We did a lot of pictures, but that's kind of what's cool about having a Magic Key. It's like you can go to Disney with different missions.
yeah.
You can,
You just have a
some
chill
day
day.
it's just food, some day it's just rides, some day it's just showing people around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is whatever it is that day. So, but yeah, it was I still had a lot of fun, and we were like totally getting in better Disney shape. Knock on wood, because I wasn't even because the last time we went when it was like 90 degrees plus,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like I was not having it. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And every time before that, I'm just like, ugh. You know, I'll just find a place
I think
and
we
sit
did
there.
like one or two things, and then we
Yeah.
just went back.
Yeah. So.
Or
yeah,
you
we
were
both
like,
going.
oh, let's just stay on property.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think it got better. And then we went to Thunder Mountain.
Mhm.
Then
Your
we
favorite
went-
ride?
Yes, my favorite ride. And we went over to DCA. And we hung out in Avengers Campus for a while. We were at Pim's Tasting Lab
Yeah.
at those tables there for a while. That's where we had our lunch / early
Mhm.
dinner.
Mhm.
That we'll talk about in Taste Talk. And we hung out there for a while. And then we
Well,
had
we got a table that was covered by the umbrellas,
yeah,
so it was like this shady spot right in
shady
the middle.
spot.
And I don't know if, for those of you who haven't been to Avengers Campus, there's no shady spots.
No,
It is just concrete. It
Yeah.
looks like It looks like
and it's like hard to get a seat around there. But later on, we discovered there's more seating shady spots near the
Mhm.
Hyperion.
yeah. It looks like Avengers Campus in the movie in upstate New York, but it feels like Wakanda. It's freaking hot.
Yeah. Then we did Toy Story Mania, and we wanted to
We found out a lot of
we
new
read about some
secrets.
secrets on
Well, I mean, I don't even know if they're secrets. It's just that we didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, about what things to hit and stuff. And there was the one thing. I mean,
and this applies to Disneyland and Disney World.
yeah, the ring toss one,
It's
is-
hard.
because if you apparently if you get, and it's the easiest thing. It's the first thing. It's in the middle of the screen. It's all the aliens that pop up
Pop
in
up.
the middle. And I didn't, and they're only worth like 100 points each.
Yeah.
And so we
So-
never really go for them. We always
Yeah.
go for the high value targets. But apparently, if you hit all of them, but and you make them all go down at once,
Yeah, if you hit
But-
all of them and they're all down.
but they keep popping up, so they're only going to stay down for like a couple seconds. So you have to hit all 15 of them and make them go down at
Yeah,
once.
like you and
Apparently,
your
a
partner
giant mouth opens up like
and then
Zurg or
you-
something,
Yeah,
and then you could just
hit rings in the mouth and it'll
and you
get like
mass points.
yeah,
So we're trying to do that, but
We-
we just
it
couldn't get
didn't
them all
work.
to go all down.
yeah. Had to do it all at the same time or something, and then there was the rat in the first part barnyard. You have to hit the
Yeah.
rat, and then the barn
Sometimes
turns
I
upside
remember
down.
we used to do that by accident before, but we never
Yeah.
intentionally did it.
Yeah. So all that stuff, we just wanted to try it, but yeah,
But I don't think like those things are like they're super Easter eggy because it's like even when though I had one of my lowest scores, I still got the highest in the car.
yeah,
So that means nobody really knows about those
No.
things. And you, of course, were saying, "See, Brian, it's teamwork. We got to be a team." I'm like, no, we got to compete.
especially for the alien ring toss one. You have to
Yeah.
be a team together. You have to get them all down at once.
hmm And I beat kids in that game, and people are like, "Why?" It's because I'm immature. It's because I'm a 52-year-old gamer. I still play video games. I play video games like Friday. I have an Xbox. I still do that on my downtime. So, yeah, that's why.
That's funny.
Or pathetic.
Yes.
Whichever your perspective is.
But we did get to meet Cap.
This is we didn't get to meet Cap. You assaulted Cap.
No, I didn't. I just couldn't help myself. So we got in
This
line.
is we've talked about Captain
But wait,
America.
let me explain. Cap came out.
You always when I got something to tell people you always want to give your perspective.
No, I'm giving
instead of letting them
context.
decide for themselves.
Okay, well, let him talk, and then I'll explain why he's talking.
Okay. So we go up and we're walking away because we're going through, I forgot where we got.
Well, we were going to go to Monsters, Inc. or something.
Oh, Philharmagic.
Oh, Philharmagic.
Because it was hot.
Yeah.
And then we were walking out. All of a sudden, a line for Cap starts joining. And so we just jump in. So we're like the fifth.
Yeah, because there's only
line.
like 2 or 3 people in front.
And so, and we never, if you've paid attention to us, we never really take pictures with
characters.
Well, definitely. Well, we've taken pictures with characters, but not superheroes.
Right. Because there's always a long line.
I think the only one we have is like with Faustos.
Oh, yeah. Because nobody was there. We were rope dropping.
No one knew who he was. They thought, it's like, oh, that's a cosplaying black guy. It's like, who's this guy?
But then, sometimes characters now just walk.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a line for pictures. So when they're walking, they don't stand and pose for a picture. They're just walking by.
Right. And I just can't believe that you came over to this country and then you disrespect our greatest hero.
Oh, whatever. I couldn't help myself. I had to ask him. So can I tell what I asked?
Ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I couldn't help myself. I said, hey, I have a question for you. I said, no, I was respectful. I was like, Captain, I have a question for you. He's like, oh, yes, go ahead. I was like, why didn't you just sacrifice Vision to save billions of lives? And this
actually,
was
it's
his
untold
response.
trillions because it was the whole universe.
Oh,
so.
yeah, okay. Well, no, it was half.
Yeah,
half
but
the universe was billions, right?
No, it's going to be trillions. It's billions just on Earth.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Half of Earth is 4 billion.
Well, he got the point.
Probably more than trillions when you think about it.
But,
so quadrillions.
And this was his response.
Never to do that. I mean, as I said, we don't trade lives. The hope was to nicely and cleanly separate the Mind Stone from the destroy it and find an alternative power source. Corvus Glaive had a few other intentions there, and then unfortunately, Vision asked, Scarlet Witch to
He's flummoxed.
help him along on his own plan.
I'm kind of mad at her and you, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I hope you guys heard that. If not, we'll post the. Brian actually filmed him saying it because I know the last time you played something they didn't hear. So if you didn't, well, it's okay. We'll post it up.
Well, you got him on his heels. He's being defensive because you were accusing him of war
okay.
crimes.
When I was like, at first I was like, you know what? I won't. I'll be nice. I'll just be like, hey, where's Bucky or whatever. I'll just ask something silly like, how's your life with Peggy? How's Bucky? But I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna ask him. Why didn't you sacrifice Vision? And he's all like, oh, we don't trade lives. I was like, yeah, but he's a bot. I don't think you caught that.
Said he's
I was
a
like,
bot.
he's a bot. He's not a life. And then he said something about...
In front of children, you said this.
No, the children were in line back there. The interaction was private. And then, he's like, then as you heard, he said something about the plan was to separate the stone from Vision cleanly.
Yeah.
I'm like, cleanly? You ended up it wasn't clean. The half the universe got obliterated. I didn't say that, but that's what I wanted to say. But I was like, I don't want Disney police to come get me or anything by arguing with Cap. It's like, forget it. Okay, yes, whatever.
Someone's harassing a legend. It's that Tracey girl again from Rope Dropping Knowledge, the one who was mad at the bus stop. Remove her.
But then he said something about Wanda. I was like, yeah, I'm mad at her too, but it's fine.
I wanted to send this video to Carrie right away to show her, this is what I got to deal with. She embarrasses us in front of America's greatest hero.
You're lucky Ariel is not a character. Because new Ariel, live action Ariel is fine because I haven't seen the movie yet. She might not be as bratty, live action. But redheaded Ariel, if she was ever out, I'd ask her. I was like, you need to respect your daddy more.
Oh, boy. This is, I'm sorry, you just show a little respect for our troops and all the people who fought for our country and fought Hydra, fought Thanos.
You wouldn't have to fight Thanos if Cap would have just obliterated Vision right there.
Oh, boy.
Even Vision asked for it.
It would not matter if he still got the time stone.
Who? Thanos?
The real fight is for the time stone.
Yeah, but if the thing was just
obliterated.
Destroyed.
He could rewind time a minute. He could rewind it a week.
Well,
it doesn't matter. It wouldn't have mattered, Tracy. Not have mattered. Can't believe
yes, it
you
would.
embarrassing me in front of Captain America. It's a good thing Black Falcon wasn't there.
I saw Sam. That's the thing. I would have said, look, I saw Sam right over there, Captain Sam over there.
Good man.
And he was like, you just left him hanging? So
she wanted to, oh no, she wanted to, if there were people in line, if we were the only people there, she would have gone on and on.
that's just the one thing he
He's
did.
a good man.
You know what I should have asked him?
His best friends are a marginalized black man and a disabled vet.
Yes,
you're
and
gonna
he left them
stick your
here
finger
while
in
he
his
went
face.
out and gallivanted around with Peggy. Like, you know what I should have asked him? I was like, have you checked on Sharon Carter lately? It's all your fault. She's the death broker or whatever she's called.
Death broker.
Whatever her name is now. Whatever. What is it called?
I don't know. White Falcon.
No. She's the something broker. I forgot the name of the thing.
Yeah.
But I should have been like, did you check on Sharon Carter? Because of you, she's now a villain. Because you never checked up on her because you went out and,
You and Cap.
So selfish.
Man. One day you're going to see Vision in the park. He's just going to shake his head at you. Tracy.
I'm just going to say I apologize because Cap didn't, kill you in the first place.
Oh, man.
But,
Oh, man.
yeah, I would have asked something more sensitive. But.
All right. So.
Anyways.
Moving on.
Speaking of The Little Mermaid, Disney said that The Little Mermaid was going to be on Genie Plus, a Lightning Lane included, but it wasn't. And I just checked today and it still wasn't. But Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was.
Was, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And still is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But I just checked the list today and Little Mermaid is still not added to Lightning Lane or Genie Plus.
Probably had a change of heart. Probably heard me saying, "Hey, man, why are you gonna mess with Little Mermaid? It's a cool ride.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That
It doesn't need a lightning lane.
Like they changed
It's
their
never
mind.
that long to be. Its longest is 30 minutes, and that's when it's like a crazy food festival. Day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's never like you never wait an hour for Little Mermaid. And it's a conveyor
If
belt
anything,
ride.
they need to add it to Luigi.
Yeah,
that would make it
the
really
Cars
long.
Land
But that
one,
would make
yeah.
the standby too long. It's already too long because they have to. There's only like a set number of cars, and you got to wait for the whole thing to be over. Then
Yeah.
so that might be not a good idea.
But they could even add it to like a emotional whirlwind or something. I don't know.
That's kind of like Luigi though, where it's just a set number.
But nobody's waiting there,
Yeah,
and nobody goes on that ride. Only people with really small kids.
that's true.
So if you add it to that ride, at least it takes away from the standby and other lines.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a pretty quick ride. So it's just goes up. It probably holds, I don't know, like 4 people in a cart, right? If you're a family,
Yeah,
if you're together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a pretty good turnaround. But nope, no Little Mermaid on the Lightning Lane yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
So as you all heard, Disneyland did finally
What
raise
if
ticket
it was
prices.
like you guys? It was you and Johnny at the park, and there was Abuela and Cap and MODOK. You guys would be there for an hour berating them.
Berating?
Yeah, berating.
Yes. So?
Such
Yes,
bullies.
so? Not berating them. We're just asking questions. Like what?
We're just asking questions.
Asking what
We're
their
just
state of mind was when they made certain. MODOK is because MODOK's. It's not his fault. His character was stupid. Abuela, yeah, I can understand. She's like the worst grandma in the world. Like she's abusive.
She loved everyone.
No, she's abusive.
You millennial.
MODOK is not his fault that he's like that. It's whoever the writer is his fault. But yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Proceed.
Ticket prices went up.
Yeah.
Magic Key prices. Inspire Key went up $50.
Mm-hmm.
It's now $16.49. Believe Key raised to $150.
Mm.
Now it's $12.49.
Mm-hmm.
Enchant Key $150. Enchant Key is now $8.49.
It's funny is the prices went up when none of these things are on sale.
Yeah, it's for the renewal people.
Yeah.
So again,
Oh, that's true, huh? That people are renewing.
they're punishing the unfavorables. So it's $4.99 now for an Imagine key.
In social work, we call it reframing. It's like, no, we're trying to make them favorable. You have a chance to be favorable too.
Yes, yes, because single day ticket prices also increased, but increased a bit, like maybe 20% or something like that. But there are more days that are, so the lowest 104 that stayed the same price. So people are saying there are more days that are lower tiered now opening up. Genie Plus now starts at $30 instead of $25, and when we went on Saturday, it was $35.
Yeah.
Of course, parking went up $5.
Yeah.
$35 now. And at one point, though, when it went up, Genie Plus did sell out on Saturday, October 14th. So
yeah, I think it's only sold out, and I think it's been like this last week.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the only day. But
I think that was the only day.
But I think that's the first time.
Yeah.
In California.
Yeah.
So we're not.
I think it's people just trying to get the Halloween stuff in, just to see all the special Halloween treats and pumpkins and decorations.
Yeah, and you could tell because all the lightning lanes were just late in the day. I mean, we did get there late, but still, it was like for rides that are usually like you might have to wait an hour or an hour and a half. It was like you had to wait like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it was weird. But then what you do is you just stack. And so you just say, okay, because you can still make it every 120 minutes.
Yeah.
So you just boom, stack, and then you get in line for the things like Pirates.
Yep.
And then the things that are moving really quick turnaround. And you still have a good day, but it can be challenging. And I still feel for the people who are, again, it's not even about how much you make. It's about how much like if you're going with kids, if you have a family and you're paying for like 4 people, it's like it gets pricey. It gets really pricey. So those are the people I really feel for. Like me and you, it's like we're 2 people. I mean, technically, I should make you pay for your own stuff, but you don't. You have a job, but yeah, it's easy for 2 single people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, not easy, but it's a lot easier. But when you have like, a kid or 2 kids,
yeah.
It's like,
and if you're like us Magic Key holders, we could just go on.
Yeah, we have
thing
Magic Keys
and
on top of it.
Come back next week, later. So we don't really need.
We're not.
Have to get
we never
Jesus.
have a must do, even though you say, Brian, we must do these things. There's never something that typically most things are going to be there long term. So it's kind of like we didn't really need to see Rogers the Musical that day that we saw it. We could have still had another couple cracks at it, but there's no sense of disappointment when we leave. Whereas other people, like if they don't go on Rise of the Resistance that day or Rise of the Resistance breaks down, they may not get another chance till next year or ever, depending on how often they go. So, yeah, I get it. It gets up there. So someday when I get a group together and we take Disney private, I'll fix these things. I'll fix them for you.
Yeah. So that's all the price increases at Disneyland that we've anticipated. And at Disney World, starting January 9th, all-day park hopping is back. So no more time restrictions for park hopping at Disney World. Although I always wonder at Disney World if you really can park hop. This is so spread out.
Yeah, it's like...
I guess you could take...
I mean, you can. It's just... It's the thing is that you're going to be really picking your shots, right? You're going to... Depending on, like, if you have must-dos, like, I don't know if you want to plan a must-do at 2 different parks because they're so spread apart, and then you got the Genie on top of that, and then it's like, I don't know. If you're going there, there's to chill, and it's not, and it's, again, we've said this a million times. We've always said this, and everybody knows this, I think, but it's a different crowd. Like, Disney World is a tourist park, and Disneyland is mostly a local park.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of tourists. I mean, that's not to say that, but it's probably on any given day, especially during the week, I would say it's probably 70-30 in favor of locals.
Mm-hmm.
On the weekend, it might be 50-50.
Really?
Well, just because there's
That's
so many
true.
people blocked
Yeah.
on Saturdays.
And I hear a lot of conversations
Yeah.
that people know. I know that that's their first time. Like they're not magic key holders.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, what's in that theater? Oh, and then the other person's like, oh, I heard it was a show. Like, did you watch? Remember that show Hawkeye? And there was a musical in there. They were talking about Rogers the musical, and I was like, oh yeah. Sometimes when you hear people's conversation, you could tell, oh yeah, they're single day ticket. They're favorables. So.
Yeah. It was funny because we did get into a. I forgot who I was talking to. Somebody from work. And they're like, "Why do you call?" Because I just called Sam Black Falcon, but they never saw the show. That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a joke that all the black people would call him Black Falcon.
You mean Black Cap?
No.
Right?
They would call him Black Falcon before he became Cap.
Oh.
And he says, "No, it's just Falcon."
Oh,
Black people are like, "No, my granddad says it's Black Falcon." But yeah, I always thought that was funny. Well, I always call him that. That's going to be your name. It's stuck.
All right. So what else is going on? Oh, yeah. So on to, I guess this is kind of old news, but the Writers Guild of America members ratify a 3-year deal with studios.
Mm-hmm.
So the writer's strike is over. Some points on what they've agreed to is regarding AI, is that AI cannot write or rewrite literary material. And AI-generated material will not be considered source material. Mm-hmm. So that means that if it's AI-generated, it can't be used to undermine the writer's credit or separated rights. So a writer can choose to use AI when performing writing services if the company consents and the writer follows some company policies. But the company cannot require the writer to use AI software like ChatGPT when they're performing their writing services.
Right.
And then the company must disclose to writers if any materials given to them are AI generated. Mm-hmm. So if they're like, oh, here's a draft script, they have to tell them.
It's basically kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, like I saw this thing where, let me see if I can even find it. It was
Well, the last point says that the WGA reserves the right to assert that exploitation of writers' material to train AI is prohibited.
For how long, though? For that contract, right?
Yeah, for the 3-year contract.
This was so funny because so many people thought this was real. Right. I'm trying to see.
So, should I go to the next?
No, yeah, you might as well just go ahead. I can't find it. But it was basically there's like this it was this situation where it sounds like, because he's always talking about outdoors and stuff, and he's like a hunter, he does all these things, and he's always talking about Joe Rogan.
Oh, okay.
And basically it's this thing where he's like, yeah, my daughter, she always liked wolves. She always liked dressing up like a wolf. And I was like, okay, But then when she got to be in high school, she says, I identify as a wolf. So I said, okay, enough of this. I'm taking her out in the woods. I took her out in the woods, and I left her there. And then it got dark, and she calls me, no more of that wolf stuff. She's no longer identifying as a wolf. And it was like, it's because it's his voice. It sounds real, and it's like a video, so it's like mimicking
so it's not
his
really
thing.
him.
Because AI can match it with like the bad lip reading thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like he's really saying it, and I'm like, you left your daughter out in the woods, but it sounds real, and it sounds almost like something he would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it sounds like
you have
Joe
the video,
Rogan.
you have his voice, and you have everything, and everyone is like, that's a horrible father. Like, why would you leave your, but it was totally made up. It's totally AI.
Right.
Like, and that's what we have today. To what people are getting confused. I mean, I knew it was like AI, but it was just kind of like, this is good. It's like, I could almost believe this. You know what I mean? If I didn't have
like
any
those
critical
things
thinking.
that you watch with Anakin and Obi-Wan, they look real.
Yeah. I mean, if Star Wars was real, you would think, okay,
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's like what people aren't forgetting is like people are like, well, AI is not such a big deal. It's like not today.
Right.
You know, if I told you 25 years ago that everyone's gonna like, there's gonna be like the number one selling car is gonna be an electric car, you'd be like, no. You know, it's like no. It's about 20 years from now, 30 years from now. You know, what are we gonna do? Now, I also believe that humans are adaptable. Well, basically, you know, the only thing more adaptable than us is cockroaches. We live on pretty much every part of the planet. We'll probably be able to live in space someday on some other planet. I think that we'll find things and we'll just adapt to it and it'll become part of our lives. But I also think the world in 75 years is going to look nothing like the world today, and AI is going to be a big part of that. So, yeah, it's going to be weird, man. I don't, you know, does it scare me? Yeah, you know. I'm old enough to where I might be out of here. So, but yeah,
sure you want kids? Just kidding. They'll have to deal with it.
If we adopt, they're already here. You might as well give them the best life they can. You know,
True.
That's the way I look at it.
So with regard to the residuals that they were complaining about, it is viewership-based streaming bonus is what writers will get. The Guild negotiated a new residual based on viewership. And that viewed by 20% or more of Service's domestic subscribers in the first 90 days of release or the first 90 days of any subsequent exhibition year, they get a bonus equal to 50% of the fixed domestic and foreign residual, with views calculated as hours streamed domestically of the film or season divided by runtime. So there's some formula now that they get residuals.
Yeah, and I think what was happening basically, and I kind of heard a few things. There's a girl I know, Stell, who we didn't date, so you get that look on your face.
What?
She's just a friend.
Just reading this. I was looking at you.
No, but she is. She does kind of like she's the inside insurance person for like. She makes sure everything is covered in. Like almost like a safety officer, but on the financial side. Finance.
An actuary?
She's kind of she doesn't have her actuary license, but yeah, she has some kind of math thing. And what she does is she works with insurance companies that insure movies. So she's on set a lot. And she works with workers' comp, she works with the union, she's and all this stuff, but it has to do with safety and can we, you know, whatever. But and what she was saying is that basically some studios, because you know she's getting secondhand knowledge from the studio people she knows, some studios were like kind of fine with their demands, like especially some of the smaller studios. And so what was going to happen was it was going to break the coalition of studios.
Oh.
So because if one goes, like A24 is kind of already like, we don't care. We just want to start making our movies.
So would there be two separate coalitions, one for big studios and one for small studios?
Well, but see, if you're a big hotel, let's say it was like a strike, a hotel strike, like a general hotel strike, and they've had those before, like with housekeepers, right, and janitorial staff and so forth. What if all the little hotels were like, we're fine with your conditions? Well, that gives all the work that Marriott and Hilton put into dominating the space, like getting like, you know, like that 80% market cap starts to shrink because it's like, well, if Holiday Inn is open for business as normal, why am I going to go to like this striking hotel? You know what I mean?
I see.
Where they don't even have housekeepers.
Right.
You know, so that's what they get scared of. It's like if I'm A24 is a small thing, and they already have a Oscar movie with you know everything happening everywhere all at once, everything everywhere all at once and stuff, and they're coming up. People know their name. Like if you're Disney, you don't want them to get bigger.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're allowed to make movies and you're not, they're going to dominate the schedule. Because you know how hard it is to get a movie in, like, during a Disney premiere weekend? It's like, first of all, the theaters might not even take you.
Right.
Because some theaters will just play, like, the next Avengers movie in 3 different theaters.
Yeah.
So it becomes that game. And so you have to sneak in, and you always have to work around Disney. If I was A24, it's more financially viable for them to agree to whatever the writers and actors want than to deal with Disney and have to work around Disney.
Yeah.
Because then we get all the theaters to themselves. They get all the production, all the actors, like big name actors who are on strike can work for you.
Will that end the strike though? Because let's say if the small studios are okay, we agree. So those writers that work for the small studios, would that be considered crossing the picket line if they started working?
No, that's what the union did. It was smart. It's like, no, if you agree, you're greenlit for that studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it's like anything. It's like divide and conquer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like usually, and I think historically what has happened just with strikes in general, the big companies, the industries divide and conquer the people who are striking. Because some people, you know, like, again, it comes back to that financial thing. Like, yeah, people like me and you, we don't have kids, you know, we kind of have savings. We got this, we got that. We could technically strike longer than somebody with 4 kids and who's already maybe behind on their rent or whatever. It's like, that's how they divide them. And that's why strikes sometimes often fail because that coalition can't hold together. But there's also a coalition amongst the industry. So whichever coalition breaks first loses.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens.
Yeah. Oh, the other big thing is also part of the agreement is streaming data transparency. So the companies have now agreed to provide the guild, subject to confidentiality, the number of hours streamed on all these shows and things like that. Because, you know, Netflix never releases any there.
Right.
But now they have to at least release it to the guild.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because once you know what they say, that there's no such thing as a secret if you tell one other person.
Yeah.
So they've been keeping the numbers really tight, a lot of these streaming services, and there's a theory that they don't want the numbers to be talked about a lot because they're not making the numbers that we think they're making. They're making below that. And I know, and when I say we, I just mean the general public, the general shareholder, whatever. So they talk about, because technically I think in a financial report, I don't know the legalities of it. I don't own stock in Netflix. I probably should just buy one share just to get their annual report. Actually, you could write to them and get their annual report. But I don't know. You have to disclose by SEC rules all revenue. But I don't know if you have to disclose like exact like streaming numbers or anything in an annual report. They could say revenue has come from streaming, but they probably don't have to break it down like per show or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They might have to do that to the guild.
Yeah, they said in aggregate. So they don't have to break it down.
So even to the union, they're not going to. Yeah. And see, and that's the thing, because that could actually hurt the union. Because if it turns out
to be low, that's what you were telling me.
Yeah, if it turns out that they're really broke.
Like, do you really want to see the
numbers?
numbers?
Do you really want to see these numbers? Because then your next negotiation is not going to go so well.
Yeah.
Because if everybody knows that,
because it's low, if it's low, then you're really
the
not
last season of
much.
Stranger Things only bought in this.
Yeah.
You know, or the last, and it could be any streaming studio, right?
Yeah.
HBO Max, whatever, or just Max now. Yeah, everybody thinks, House of the Dragon was a big hit, but only 6 people watched it. We're just saying it's a big hit. How much do you think you're going to get once those numbers are out, right? So it's kind of a gamble, right? It's like we want to know the numbers, but we kind of don't want to know the numbers. It's kind of like a little kid asking their parent, like, do you really want to know how much I make? Because I work at Wendy's. So when you ask for those toys, I could give you the numbers.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you really want to know.
Right.
So here, we'll see. We'll see.
How
it's going to be interesting.
Because the Actors Guild, SAG, is still on strike, but the writers are. Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll be done too.
Yeah.
Soon.
Well, the other kind of big business news is that Nelson Peltz is pushing for a seat on the Disney board again. So again, meaning I guess he's pushed for a seat on the board before during the JPEG time. So as Disney stock drops at its lowest price in 9 years, Nelson Peltz is once again planning to push for a seat on the board. He's the founder and CEO of Tryon Fund Management, one of Disney's largest shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. Like, with
probably
stakes,
a private equity fund.
Yeah, with stakes valued at $2.5 billion. So Tryon is expected to request multiple board seats, including one for Peltz. So he ended his first push for a seat after Disney announced a major reorganization and cost-cutting plan. And the stock did rise around the same time, reaching $113 in February 2nd. This was after a boost in late 2022 when Chapek was fired and Iger was reinstated the role. So he dropped it after the walk. But now that the stock's down again, he's like, oh, I want a board in the seat now because has so much stake, I guess. $2.5 billion.
It's any time where, I mean, it could be a private equity fund, maybe not, because private equity, they're more like house flippers. They want quick turnarounds.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually, their business plans are usually 5-year increments. It could be just a wealth management fund. But whatever type of fund it is, it's basically an investor, right?
Yeah.
And so what happens is that I don't want to say it's not good news for guests and customers and cast members, but when anytime a fund manager or a fund management group wants to take a bigger authority role in the company, usually means there's going to be a lot of cost cutting. Because
they only want a
they're only looking at spreadsheets. They're only looking at money.
Yeah, because he only wants a seat because it dropped so low.
Right.
And before, when it dropped low, he wanted a seat. But then when they fired Chapek and got Iger and it went up, he's like, okay, forget it. I'm fine.
Maybe things
but
are
then now
fine.
I want it again because it's low.
And
how do you?
They're not shy.
Yeah.
Because everything about them is money. They do not care
about the vision or the plan or the whatever.
They do not believe in magic.
Yeah.
If you guys watched the original Mary Poppins, these are the old guys at the bank.
Yes.
They are. Yeah, it's and by the way, I'm not saying that that makes them bad people. It's just that they have different missions.
Yeah.
And their mission isn't to provide the best guest experience. Their mission is ROI for their investors.
Yes.
And so Iger in the past has always been able to kind of overlap those two things, saying that they're not mutually exclusive. But if you look at it, in silos, like if you're a finance guy, you're like, no, they are.
Yeah.
Like you got to choose. Do you want to get to have the best time or do you want us to? Because this person's not going to have experience in making an amusement park or any type of entertainment venue more pleasurable. They're going to say you're spending too much. Like I get it. Ahsoka was a good show, but $250 million was way too much for that show.
Yeah.
You guys have the volume. Just put it on the screen. We paid money for that. Why don't you use it? You know what I mean? Well, we don't use it because we use it and we want to look like poodoo. It's like it's just they're gonna, and they start getting into the gears, and I'm not saying it automatically means it's a bad thing, because maybe this guy is just a Disney fanatic and finance guy, and he has some ideas and nobody.
No, he just wants his money.
Yeah,
he just wants his investment.
But usually those decisions aren't made by one person. It's usually people pressuring him. Like it's like, Jack, you need to go take care of this, man.
Yeah.
We got people complaining. I was like, why are we investing in Disney? Now the question is, to me, if I was a wealth manager, private equity manager, I'd be like, or if I was an investor of theirs, I'd be like, something tells me they have to believe in magic a little bit.
To invest, yeah.
Yeah, why would you be in...
Like, go invest in Apple.
Yeah.
If you believe in just money.
No, a lot of these places are invested in, like, healthcare. They're invested in things that, like, people are going to need. Energy, healthcare, cable stations that also have internet, like things that people can't get rid of, right? So it's one of those, or things that people can't get rid of and or have government subsidies tied to them.
Yeah.
So like they might invest in Tesla, even if it's not that they think Tesla's going to sell the most cars, is that they know they're going to get like $2 billion in government subsidies over the next how many years. So it's like, okay, that's guaranteed money that we're not going to leave on the table. That's why we're investing.
Yeah.
And so Disney doesn't get anything they're in a war with the governor of Florida. So to me, it's like it has to be at least somebody's passion project to invest in them in the first place,
That's
because it's
true.
not a stable industry.
Yeah.
It's entertainment, and it's
And they are one of their biggest investors.
yeah.
Right?
So it's a strange marriage.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I might do some research on it just to see
Yeah.
what I can come up with, because I don't know why.
Nelson Peltz.
Yeah.
All right. Well, time for taste talk.
It's Taste Talk with Tracey. Mash some magic in your mouth.
So before I can't eat any
Solid food.
solid food anymore, I thought this is my last chance in a while, to try the Lucky Fortune cookery in San Francisco. So you had the chicken karaage. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I said karaage before, but I think I mispronounced it.
Karaage.
It's karaage sandwich. And what's in it is slaw and togarashi mayo on a potato bun served with garlic chips.
And I liked it. So basically, I mean, if you wanted to say it, it's like a
Chicken sandwich.
it's a fried chicken
sandwich. Yeah.
Karaage is a little more fried. Like, so if you've probably had karaage, you might have had karaage squid or karaage chicken, like at a ramen
Is
shop
that the
place.
same as katsu?
No,
Oh.
it's crunchy. It's very
Yeah.
It's like you might have had it at a ramen shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a Korean version. I forget what they call it,
Mhm.
but it's a little more crunchy than what you would get at like Popeyes or something like that.
Right.
But it was very good.
It's flavorful, right?
And it was- and
the
it was-
mayo was
The mayo was
flavorful.
flavorful. It wasn't super spicy or anything.
No, it's not spicy. Mhm.
But it's a big piece of chicken,
Yeah.
so it's gonna fill you up. And so I liked it. I think it's good, but it's a meal. So don't get it and think that
It's not a snack.
It's not a snack.
Yeah, it's a whole
But it's
meal.
kind of like that whole place looks like a snack place, but they actually
No,
give you
they're
meals.
actually, because that cafe
Mhm.
has like the shrimp po' boy or whatever version. So yeah, that's just all dining area,
Yeah.
fast service food.
Yeah, out of 10, I give it an 8.
Hmm.
Yep.
I had the chicken karaage udon. So it had mushrooms, snap peas, bok choy, fried in like dark soy and hoisin sauces. So it's basic because I could make my own udon, but I wanted to try something different from what you had.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I just didn't like the way they cooked the snap peas because it was very tough. So I had to spit it out, even with good teeth
Like gum?
right now. Yeah, like it's like
It's chewy?
stringy.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
the fibers.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. But I liked the snap peas. They had little pieces of ginger in it too, and I liked that, the pickled ginger and everything. Yeah, I would give that also 8 out of 10, except for don't get the snap peas in it. But I mean, you can't really customize it.
Right.
I also got Thai iced tea with boba. It had sea salt cream on top and brown sugar boba.
Yeah.
That was really good. That's actually not bad for Disney. Like the boba was good texture.
Mm.
So
All right.
So I don't know if you all noticed, but key lime pie from Loki season 2 is out, and Mobius really likes their key lime pie at the TVA. And so the same key lime pie is being served at Pim's Kitchen.
That's so
We
funny.
didn't try it, but we saw.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's new Parkside Market. They call it. There's 4 new dining location options that'll be at Downtown Disney. And you can check out Disney Parks blog for the 4 new. I think it's more like a food hall with 4 mini quick service instead of just all restaurants at Downtown Disney. So now that if you just want a quick, kind of like Napolini. So they announced that they're going to open that. It's like a little food hall with 4 dining options.
We'll see what they have.
Yeah. I mean, they did announce it on Disney Parks blog, but I didn't really write it down. And then Disney Lorcana scores as the top 20 spot on Good Housekeeping's best new toys in 2023. And that's the trading card game.
Yeah.
They said it's fun and playable for adults and kids.
Yeah. But most of the people who buy the cards are just collecting them.
Yeah,
They're not
collecting,
playing the
and
game.
trading.
Trading,
Trade.
collecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, they're not actually playing.
Yeah.
And so,
I don't even know what. I thought the playing was the trading. No.
no.
Oh, it's actually a.
No, it's like Pokemon cards. That's an actual game. Magic the Gathering is actually a game.
Oh.
It's just that some cards are rarer than others.
And then
and then
you
they
start
become,
trading.
they're worth actual money. So some people, a lot of the people who just got into it to get rare cards so they can make money, like real money. And that's what happens. And so, like, there's people who have, like, a whole garage full of Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and don't know how to play the games.
Wow.
They just have,
They just have the trading cards.
They just have
That's
the
probably
cards.
true for
like,
most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then the last thing is that so Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro confirmed to Collider that he did almost make a Jabba the Hutt Star Wars film.
That'd be hilarious.
The script was written already by David Goyer. He wrote Dark Knight and the Blade trilogies.
Mhm.
And it was to be directed by Del Toro, but the film got scrapped.
I can see why it got scrapped because it just does not sound executive friendly. But I'm sure it would have been fire because basically it would have been about the underworld. It would have been about gangsters. It might even have been about how Java, because the Hutts are basically one giant family. You know? I mean, they're a race and a family, and so, and since he doesn't have like mobility, I mean, they just move around like slugs. You know? It's not going to be a situation where. Well, let me put it this way: it'd be very dialogue heavy, and they don't speak like English. And when I say that, I mean common, right? So it would have been a lot of translating. There would have been a lot about the underworld around them. So it would have been an entire world created around a monster that doesn't even speak in the language you can understand.
Oh, that's true.
So I can see why executives would be like, I don't see it. But with Guillermo del Toro, who's into monster movies, a weird type stuff.
Yeah.
And you put a lot of writing into the world and a lot of world building into it, I think it would have been probably amazing. And it would have been the most unique Star Wars movie that ever came out. And it would have, and they would have to use subtitles. But so what? Some of the best movies.
I want to know Jabba's backstory.
Yeah. A Parasite was a Korean movie. It had subtitles and won an Oscar.
Yeah, sure.
So.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been cool. Yeah, he said it would have been cool, and he was excited, but it got scrapped. So
I would love to see that movie.
Yeah. So
I'd love to see just a script.
Yeah, the script was written by the Blade guy. Yeah, the guy who wrote Blade. But I did pull up the 4 restaurants that would be at this new downtown Disney food hall. One is called Soul Sister. Soul spelled like Seoul, Korea. So it's a Korean food place. And Sip and Sonder, founders of Amanda Jane Thomas and Shanita Nicholas, Black women-owned brand. So LA style food. Gigi's Chicken Shop, so kind of like Hattie B's. And Second Story Bar. Oh no, that's a bar, kind of like I guess the Uva Bar.
Okay.
So those are the 4 new dining options at downtown Disney. Besides all the restaurants like Porto's.
But when are they going to be up and running?
It's expected, I think, summer of 2025.
Wow, that's a while.
Or 24.
It's 24. That's a year. Less than a year.
I don't know yet. It just says coming to Disneyland Resort, downtown Disney.
I mean, we see all the construction going on, but
yeah, that's all the Din Tai Fung and Portos and all that stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So you guys remember this is the last week to enter the giveaway, and we will be back at the parks. We're gonna do like a kind of a weird weekend. We're gonna go on the 3rd, which is a Friday, and then we're gonna go on the 5th, right? Yeah, the 3rd and the
Friday and Sunday.
Yeah, the 5th.
Yes.
So we're gonna go on a Friday, take Saturday off, do some family stuff.
The blocking.
And then, yeah,
Because
they're
we're
not our
blocked.
choice. Yeah, and then go back on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so we'll have, in part giveaway or giveaways, depending on if somebody gets it on the first day. Yeah. But we did do the lightsaber giveaway, and Caitlin won.
Oh, yes.
So we'll be
Caitlin
sending that
won.
out, Ahsoka lightsaber to her. And I didn't do the drawing. This was Johnny's drawing. So
Yeah, there's a live
don't
video
think we put
showing it.
our thumb on the scale, because you can go watch the live. It's on DMSW. But yeah, congratulations to her. And we will talk to you all soon. And be looking in your inboxes for new Superfan stuff, because they're coming up.
Yes.
All righty. I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.